On Christmas morning, I asked, was there anything for me? Mom didn't look up. She said, we don't buy presents for people who aren't grateful. My brother laughed and added, Santa skipped you on purpose. I just nodded and walked out. The very next day, he showed up at my door in tears. I need $80,000 to keep my business alive. I smiled and said, ask Santa. My name's Evan. I'm 32. The older kid. The quiet one. The dependable one. Which in my family just means the person you can forget about until you need a ride, a password reset, or a signature on a form. I work IT at a small hospital. I fix jammed printers. I reset locked accounts. I bring cupcakes to birthdays because someone has to. I rent a one-bedroom apartment that always smells like coffee, even after I've washed the mugs. I've got a modest savings account that I'm oddly proud of. I run a few times a week in cheap sneakers that squeak. If you ask my mom about me, she'd say Evan's steady. If you ask my younger brother Luke, who's 29, he'd shrug and say Evan's fine. If you ask me, I'd say I've spent most of my life as the background guy. The extra. The one off camera holding the boom mic. It wasn't always like that. As a kid, I was loud. I played trumpet. Tried out for everything. But somewhere in middle school, I figured out the trick. Stay small. Stay quiet. Don't give mom anything to worry about. Don't give dad a reason to sigh. Make room so Luke could shine. Luke was the star. The golden boy. He had the smile that got him a second scoop of ice cream. He could miss curfew by 2 hours and still just get a warning, while I had to obey the rules to the minute. Nobody ever checked on me. We grew up in a house where holidays were a stage show. Stockings lined up perfectly. Matching pajamas if mom could swing it. She'd say, we're making memories, which was code for we can't afford this but we'll pretend. Pretending lit her up. It made her eyes sparkle. And it kept dad quiet, which he took as contentment. But I knew he was just doing the math in his head. Mortgage payments, gas prices, overtime hours. So I became the one who kept the act together. I wrapped gifts with sharp corners. Learned how to rescue burnt gravy. Labeled the storage boxes in the garage like an extra attic. I was good at the background jobs that made the show run smoothly. Luke, meanwhile, walked in late, made a joke, and had everyone laughing. Not mean, just charming. In our family, that was basically the same thing. I tell you this so what happened next makes sense. That Christmas morning, the living room looked straight out of a catalog. We'd done the usual routine. Carols, Coco, the one present at midnight rule. I'd crashed on the couch since my old bedroom is now mom's craft closet. I woke up to her humming while the TV looped a fake fireplace. We gathered, smiled, handed out presents with names spelled half right. Luke nudged me like we were kids again. Ready. I looked at the pile. Not a single tag said Evan. So I cleared my throat and asked softly, is there a gift for me? Mom, still fussing with ribbon, said, we don't buy for ungrateful people. Luke laughed. Santa skipped you. Heat rushed to my face. My hands felt useless. I just nodded, grabbed my coat, and stepped out into the freezing air until I could breathe again. The next day, Luke showed up at my apartment, red-eyed and slumped. He didn't even say hello. He just said, I need $80,000 to save my business. I smiled, not because it was funny, but because suddenly everything clicked. Write to Santa, I told him. See, my family runs on a script. I know it so well, I could perform it in my sleep. Act 1, Luke dreams big. Dad says, be practical. Mom says, go for it, baby. I stay quiet because I'll be the one cleaning up later, and you can't fix something you've already criticized. Act 2, it all goes wrong. Money runs short. Bills show up in red letters. Mom says, we'll figure it out. Dad says, we've already figured it out 10 times. I say my one line, I can help. Act 3, I do help. I move money I save $10 at a time. Skip a dental cleaning. Work a Saturday. Buy groceries. Hit pay now with someone else's login. The music swells. We all pretend it's fine. Credits roll. Until the next season starts. I wish I was exaggerating, but I can list the numbers. When Luke was 21, he bought a used BMW because image mattered in real estate. I co-signed for a year. He missed 3 payments. I shelled out $1,800 to keep the car from being repossessed in front of Mom's house. At 24, he opened a juice bar with reclaimed wood counters and chalkboard menus in a town where winter lasts 9 months. I pitched in $5,000 because we're family. He texted me 6 times in one day with smoothie names. The bar shut down within a year. The chalkboards still sit in Mom's garage under an old quilt rack. At 27, he went digital. Needed a website. I built it for free after work. Paid the domain for 3 years because he forgot auto-renew. He never updated it. It still says grand opening soon. Piece by piece, I became the coat rack for everyone else's ambitions. It was never one massive thing, just 100 little ones with my name on the receipt. You're so good with money, Mom would say, which in our house really meant you're good at giving it away. Even Christmas had its receipts. Like the year Luke got a brand new gaming console, and I got a clearance sweater with the security tag still attached. I cut it off with wire cutters while Mom said, "Oh, silly store." Or the year Luke got a temporary loan of my laptop for college. I drove to night classes at community college and typed essays on the library computers while his loan lasted 2 years. Dad wasn't a villain, just worn out. He worked doubles, came home sagging. He'd see Luke's grin, Mom's bright eyes, and sigh. "Let them have this," he'd whisper to me while handing me a trash bag of wrapping paper. His voice said, "I can't fight 2 wars." Sometimes he'd slip me a folded 20 like we were spies. "For gas," he'd whisper. By last year, I could spot the signs early. Mom repeating, "Your brother's under so much pressure." Dad rereading bills. Luke talking louder, telling bigger stories. "We're almost there," he'd say. Last summer, Luke launched a consulting company. The pitch changed every week. In June, it was marketing. In July, DTC. In August, pop-ups. Always we. Though I never met anyone else. He rented an office above a nail salon with thin walls and a stuck window. Posted photos of charts and buzzwords. Sent me screenshots of email drafts bragging about traction. And through it all, the same story played out. I knew something was up when the text codes started arriving. How? Because my number was listed as the backup on his Stripe account. He asked for it once, in a rush. "I'll switch it later," he said. Later never happened. So at 2:11 a.m. and again at 3:06 a.m., those verification codes would ping my phone. Fridays became sleepless. In November, Mom called 3 times in a single day. "Your brother's onto something huge," she said, voice booming like a sports announcer stuck on full volume. "He just needs time." "Time or money?" I asked. "Don't be negative," she snapped, then softened. "We might need to shuffle some things around." "Mom, I'm not a bank." "Your family," she answered, like that explained everything. By early December, Luke texted, "Coffee?" He chose the cafe with wobbly chairs and burnt almond coffee. He showed up overly cheerful. "I'm close," he said. "To what?" I asked. He grinned. "To making it. How much is it going to cost?" "It's not about money," he claimed. 2 breaths later, "It's just the runway's tight." "How tight?" He glanced upward as if the number was written on the ceiling. "Like 80. 80 what?" "1,000, he rushed out. "Bridge funding. Short term. I've got meetings lined up." I stirred my coffee slowly. "Luke, I don't have $80,000. He waved me off. "You do. In your 401k, in, grown-up stuff. You're good at adulting." I pictured my budget, rent, utilities, instant noodles, the $30 I squirrel away twice a month. I pictured the bald tires on my car. I remembered the endless call with the bank last year over a charge he made on a card under my name. "No," I said. He blinked like I'd spoken in a foreign language. "What?" "No," I repeated. "Don't be dramatic," he scoffed. Mom says a lot of things," I cut in. We didn't talk for 2 weeks. Then Christmas arrived. You know the drill. The missing name tags, the jab about ungrateful people, the fake laugh, the cold air, my empty hands. That night, back in my apartment, I lay on the couch counting the tiny bumps in the ceiling paint. 173 of them. Mom's rehearsed words played in my head. Luke's laugh echoed. Next morning, a text, "You home?" Then the knock. He stood there, eyes shadowed, hoodie damp. I need $80,000 to save my business, he blurted, skipping hello. Write to Santa, I said. He flinched, then forced a laugh. Funny. But seriously, this is life or death for my LLC. For your future? I asked. I shifted so he couldn't see my thrift store Christmas tree or the two presents I'd bought myself. Socks and a cast iron skillet. Luke, I said, calm and steady no. He pushed inside without asking, pacing, touching the couch like it might offer solutions. I've got vendors calling. Payroll. A lease. People depending on me. You told me you didn't have employees, I said. Contractors, he snapped. Same thing. Then he turned on me, wearing that practice face he used on teachers and waiters. Ev, you're my brother. You know I'll pay you back. I thought of all the times he said those exact words while holding my keys, my cards, my trust. I thought of 7 temporary loans that never came back. 12 late-night calls stamped urgent. 36 auto-renewals I had to cancel. I sat down. I'm not doing this. I won't cash out my retirement. I won't take a loan. I won't co-sign. I won't be your safety net. He stared. Why are you being cruel? I'm not cruel. I'm clear. He scoffed. So that's it? After all I've done for this family. What have you done? I asked, not to wound him, but to set things straight. His face flushed red. Mom needs me. Dad needs me. I keep things alive. I pay when they can't. I lower my voice. And I keep them afloat when they can't. He waved a hand. Money isn't everything. Then why are you here? I asked. He finally sat, elbows on knees. I miscalculated. Contracts delayed. Investors vanished over the holidays. It's optics. If I just cover January, I'm good. $80. 000 covers January. He hesitated. Plus some late fees. I let the silence stretch. My phone buzzed. A dentist appointment I'd already rescheduled twice, so I could tag along to his big meetings. Me, holding his backpack while he practiced his smile in the lobby's glass reflection. Ev, he said softly, I'm asking you because I trust you. I used to think that was a compliment, I said. Now I think it means I'm easy. He flinched. Mom said you cave. There it was, cave. I stood, poured a glass of water I didn't need, came back steady. Luke, this isn't revenge. It's closure. He rolled his eyes. Okay, Instagram therapist. I'm serious, I said. I'm closing the account. The loans, the favors, the rides, the logins. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at how I taught you to treat me. You taught me, he barked. You chose this. I did, I admitted. I said yes so many times. You thought my yes was yours by right. He jabbed a finger at the door. I'll find someone else. You should, I said. Find a bank. Find a mentor. Find a therapist. Find a job. His mouth opened, then closed. His eyes were wet. Anger, fear, I couldn't tell. You're really going to watch me fail, he whispered. I've watched you fail 100 times, I said. I just stopped catching you. Mom will be furious. She already is. I can't keep buying my place in this family. He stepped forward, then back. So nothing? Nothing. I won't give you money. I won't lie. I won't co-sign. I won't be your business's emergency contact. He let out an ugly laugh. You'll regret this. Maybe, I said. But I'll regret staying more. He looked around my small apartment like it had betrayed him. I can't believe you, he muttered. I can't either, I replied. He gripped the doorknob. Last chance, he said, like a movie villain. Not for me, I answered. He left. His footsteps echoed down the hall. The door clicked shut. I locked both bolts and sat on the floor, letting the silence cover me like a heavy blanket I finally chose. By morning, the phone turned into a buzzing animal. Mom called 8 times before noon, leaving voicemails that started sweet and ended sharp. Honey, call me back, I'm worried. Evan, this is serious. Your brother is drowning. I did not raise you to be cruel. Dad texted once. Call your mother. I could feel the sigh in the words. Luke flooded my inbox. 10:03 a.m. I'm outside. 10:05 answer. 10:12 you don't get the stakes. 10:18 this is on you. 11:01 a crop photo of an overdue bill. 11:30 fine. Forget it. I set the phone face down and went to the dentist like a normal person. In the waiting room with dusty fake plants and a pile of old magazines, a kid tried to wink, closing both eyes at once. The hygienist asked, "So, how was your holiday?" And I laughed. A real, too loud laugh that made her step back. When I got home, my voicemail box was overflowing. I only listened to one. Mom's voice was sharp. "You think you're better than us?" she asked. Then softer, "We needed you." She hung up without saying goodbye. I cooked rice and eggs, ate them standing because the couch still held his shape. I scrubbed the pan right away. Tossed the carton though there was room for another shell. Wiped the counter twice. Day 2. Dad called. Not Mom, she was upset. "I know," he said. "You could have handled it differently." "How?" I whispered. "Not so dramatic." "No," I told him. "Not here. Not in my apartment. No audience." He sighed. "He's under strain." "So am I." "I've been under pressure since I was 15, I said. He didn't fight me. Just, "Your mother is crying." Like that was the chess move that trapped me. But I wasn't responsible for her tears anymore. I said it out loud and was shocked at how light it felt. Day 3. Luke posted something vague on Instagram. A black square, white text, "Sometimes the people closest to you hurt you the most." Broken heart emoji. Mom left 3 red hearts. A cousin I hadn't seen in years sent me, "Y'all good?" I didn't answer. I blocked Luke for a day. Not forever, just long enough to hear myself think. The quiet felt like leaving a noisy bar and stepping into cold winter air. Then came the practical fallout. Money. My bank flagged a charge. $1,200 to Marketing Hub Pro. Instantly I shook my head. Luke had borrowed that old card for a deposit 2 years ago. I thought I'd closed that loop. I hadn't. 47 minutes on hold, piano music looping. 3 different reps. I said that's not my charge for times. Asked them to remove the backup verification number twice. Agreed to wait 5 times. Wrote down reference number 84419 on a sticky note and stuck it to my laptop. A boring little adult battle, but I won. I checked my 401k. Not much, but mine. I pictured Luke trying to drain it dry. I closed the tab. Changed my phone passcode for the first time since 2019. Updated my email login. Switched my debit PIN. Removed authorized users. Saw Luke's name sitting there like a ghost. Clicked remove. Felt a tiny spark of freedom. One less hook in my skin. Day 4. Mom showed up unannounced. She never texts first. 5 quick knocks. I opened because that's what I do. She swept inside, coat off, scarf on, eyes blazing. "You're coming with me," she said. "To where?" "The bank. We'll fix this." "No," I said evenly. She blinked. "Don't start." "I'm done," I replied. Her face froze. "Your brother is drowning." "Luke only survives when someone pulls him up," I said. "He never learned to float." "Don't get poetic." "I'm not. I'm finished." She softened her voice. "Baby, we're family." "I know. But family should mean safety, not a credit line." She glanced around my apartment. "You live like a monk." "I live like someone who pays his own bills." She sat, rubbing her forehead. "We raised you to be generous." "No," I said before I could stop myself. "You raised me to be obedient." Her mouth opened, closed. "Is that what you think of me?" "I think of you as my mom. I love you. But I'm not doing this anymore." Then came her trump card, tears. "If your father dies, how will we survive?" "You'll budget. Downsize. Stop pretending Christmas needs a soundtrack and 6 credit cards." My voice was calm. She shot up from the chair. "Who are you?" "Me," I said. Finally, she left without hugging me. I locked the door. Made tea. Didn't drink it. Sat with the silence. It was like a generator shutting off. Noise I hadn't noticed until it was gone. Over the next week. Missed calls, 23. Voicemails saved, 0. Text from Luke, 17. Then 0 after I filtered him out. Unpaid charges, $80, $000, $100, $399, $6, $712, $19.99. Paid charges, $62 groceries, $14 thrift store lamp, $29 bus fare because I walked instead of driving, I built a routine like a shelf. Work, run, cook, sleep. At work, I stopped saying yes to every crisis. I can do Tuesday, I told my boss instead of whenever. He looked surprised, then nodded. Good. Boundaries. At night, I read recipes. Made soup. Ate at the table, phone in another room. Washed the pot and let it air dry. Went to bed before midnight. My watch tracked my sleep like a little gold star. 5:12. 7:06. 7:34. I didn't unblock Luke. Didn't call mom. Didn't draft long explanations. I did nothing. That was the action, nothing. Day 9. Dad called. I get it, he said softly. To you. I was the first net. Then I got tired. Then you were old enough. I'm tired too. I know, he said. I'm sorry. We sat in silence together, the closest we'd come to understanding in years. Day 11. A certified letter, Luke's LLC dissolved. Plain government font. It didn't mention me. Just said, something ended. I set it in a drawer and left it open. Waited for guilt to rise. It didn't. What came instead was air. A month later, I stopped counting missed calls. Mom's texts are shorter. How are you? Dad's appointment. We need to talk. Sometimes I answer. Sometimes not. When I do, I use full sentences. Without money attached. Luke hasn't reached out. I hear of him like weather in another state. Through cousins. Through whispers. Maybe he's consulting again. Maybe not. Not my spreadsheet. I still think of Christmas morning. The line hits different now. We don't buy things for ungrateful people. I'm not ungrateful. I'm thankful for the lesson. For the clarity. Like someone switched on a light in a room. I thought I knew. I kept one tradition. After January rent and the power bill cleared, I bought myself a gift. A decent pair of running shoes. They don't squeak. On my first run, I circled the park twice. The cold air hurt in that good way. I counted breaths. I didn't chase the old noise. Just moved. People talk about boundaries like a fence you build once and admire. For me, it's a daily chore. Saying no. Then saying no again when the ask comes dressed in new clothes. Answering calls only when I have energy. Letting them ring when I don't. Deleting apps that keep me watching fake lives. Making dinner. Sleeping. Sometimes I want to explain it all so my family will nod and say, oh, of course. But they have their script. I'm not in this season. This isn't revenge. It's closure. I said it once to Luke in my living room. I say it to myself when guilt sneaks in wearing mom's voice. Closure wasn't a slam. It was a click. A lock turning because that's what locks are for. I didn't save Luke's business. Didn't rescue a holiday. Didn't buy my mother the comfort she wanted. I saved myself. Rescued my own January. Bought my own shoes. I won't co-sign love again. Won't fund hope just to sit at their table. Won't stay hidden as background support while my life stays dim. I love my family, but I'm not their safety net. I'm building my own life, the plain way. One bill on time. One run. One dinner. One honest no. It's not tragic. Not dramatic. Just steady. And if you're wondering if Santa ever wrote back, he did, in a way. I wrote the letter. Sealed it. Put it in a drawer. Asked for nothing. Then walked outside. The day was cold. The day was mine.